Hello everyone, my name is Faith Anne Miravich, and over the course of the summer I've been working on a very special research project. Currently I'm a student at Albright College. Albright College has a program called Albright Creative Research Experience, which is also known as an ACRE. In an ACRE, Albright students work alongside a professor to create a research project. The professor I am working with is Professor Kristen T. Woodward. The title of our project is Dance of the Devils, art inspired by the Baruka. The idea for this project began in an advanced painting class that Professor Woodward was teaching. In this said class, with one of the assignments, I started to create fantasy imagery based on my educational research visit to Costa Rica. While I was in that class, Professor Woodward mentioned her recent trip to the Albright Costa Rica property. Her goal for that trip was to start the process of creating a Costa Rica interim course for Albright. Soon, we started to share our experiences about our trips to Costa Rica. We were particularly gaining interest in the Baruka, who are an indigenous tribe located in South Pacific Costa Rica. The Baruka are known for their beautiful masks that are created in part as a means of spiritual expression and a symbol of their victory over Spanish conquistadors. We greatly admired the artisans of these masks and their use of symbolism of fantasy and animal ecology. Since we both shared the same enthusiasm for our inspiration, we decided that the next best course of action was to develop an ACRE in order to focus intensely on the subject matter in an academic and a collaborative format. Along with our similar source of inspiration, Professor Woodward and I create artwork that shares similar subject matter. For example, we share an interest in environmental stewardship, our experiences traveling to Costa Rica, and animals as symbols of transformation. Thus, we began to brainstorm our proposal. Our initial goals for the ACRE were to research the Baruka, their customs, beliefs, and artistic practices, create artworks that are inspired by our research, develop 3 art assignments for a new synthesis course that will be taught by Professor Woodward and Dr. David Osgood, and finally, publish the artwork, and if we can, publish in a gallery or public space. Sure enough, our proposal got accepted. This video is an abstract of our research, and that's where we'll be going from here on. First and most importantly, who are the Baruka? The Baruka are an indigenous tribe in Costa Rica, located in the Talamanca Mountains, about 20 kilometers from Panama. Their arts and crafts revolve around the creative resistance to the Spanish conquest of the 1500s. They create these masks and wear them for annual ceremonies, reenacting confrontations with the Spanish invaders. The Baruka are not widely known, and documentation was sparse and outdated. We primarily drew from the text The Jaguar Within by Rebecca Stone, and much earlier publications from the Peabody Museum of Archaeology and Ethnology. An interesting discovery was that historically only male members of the Baruka community create these masks, and they must create their own masks in order to participate in the annual Fiestas de los Diablitos, a festival and celebratory dances to mark their resistance to the foreign Spanish conquistadors. From the Peabody Museum of Archaeology, author Doris Stone, 1946, says, "There was a bullfight dance that takes place on New Year's Day. This dance dates from Spanish colonial times, and it is performed today during religious festivals in many communities from Mexico through Guatemala southward. Balsa wood masks, similar to the ones used by the Baruka, are also used. There is no mention at the present-day Dance of the Little Devils, Danza de los Diablitos, held at the same time of year. This led us to believe that the Dance of the Little Devils evolved from earlier dance traditions." The name Baruka was first noted in 1563, but at that time it was composed of multiple indigenous communities in South Costa Rica and Panama. The people started calling themselves Bunruka in the 19th century, from the word brun meaning ashes and ka meaning within. The Baruka have no sense of time, including their own age. An interesting aspect of this research included the intersection of artistic expression and communal commercial production for tourism. A challenge we faced was to utilize this ethnographic research for inspiration and education without resorting to cultural appropriation. But in the end, we married our own artistic traditions with those of the Baruka. With all of that said, let me tell you about my artwork, The Black Jaguar, Conqueror of Death. This artwork is a watercolor. The inspiration for this piece came from the shamanistic practices of the Veruca. The Veruca believe that in their festivals, while wearing a mask, they become the animal, and as such live past their death. The scene being depicted here is of a dead corpse becoming a jaguar through a shamanistic practice. The person is being surrounded by these hybrids of human and animal, as they are also in flux of a transformation. One of the reasons why I chose this subject matter was so that I had the ability to experiment with combining the forms of human and animal. In this piece, I really wanted to emphasize the spiritual quality of this transformation, and it's hinting at the next life. Now let me share with you the work that Kristen T. Woodward has worked on. This work is titled The Veruca Jaguar, and it is made in encaustic. Encaustic is the combination of resin, oil, and beeswax to create a textured paint. In this piece, we see three figures looming over each other, amid transformation between man and jaguar. As you can see, the jaguar is a very important symbol to that of the Veruca. Another important goal for the Acre project was to design 3 studio art projects for a future synthesis travel course that will take place in Costa Rica. The course is a hybrid of both art studio classes and biology experiments and research. First assignment asks the students to reflect on an artist as a naturalist. Students will look into the traditional artwork of Charles Darwin and Jonathan Kingdom. Students will generate 5 sketches of a plant or animal form from observation as they experience it from each of their 5 senses. The second assignment asks the student to create work in and from their environment. Students will look into the environmental and temporary installations of Andy Goldsworthy. Students then will create a site-specific artwork with materials that could only be found, culled, and manipulated from their natural environment with basic handheld tools. The third assignment asks the students to use biological and/or ecological concepts to create artwork. Although the parameters of this particular art assignment are much more broad-reaching, it is the hope that the students will draw from the course readings and the students' sensory observations while at Rio de Sueños. For example, a student can create a mask either showing environmental concerns or demonstrating a way to ward off what they fear most. We had the opportunity to work with the Berks Arts Council in partnership with the City of Reading, Greater Reading Chamber Alliance, and Reading Parking Authority for a mural design. The COVID-19 inspired initiative they titled Art for Hope, Healing in Community, Unity in the Public Realm. They commissioned 20 local artists to produce mini murals in response to our community in crisis. Our collaborative design was selected for the project. The image includes abstracted forms of a phoenix rising from the ashes, with a red cardinal rising from its underfolded wing. In August of 2020, the 4-foot by 4-foot mini mural was installed and is now on public display in Reading, PA at 4th and Cherry Street Garage. Finally, I want to thank the Albright Acre community, Kimberly Jensen, Matt Fotis, Michael Miller, Dr. David Osgood, especially Kristen Woodward for being my partner in this project. I would also like to thank my fellow Acre students and professors for being so kind and also inspiring during these projects. I also would like to thank you. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a little bit more about the Veruca, and I hope you have a nice day.